12/2022. Wow, got that right the first time. Meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. That's not right. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. This is our first meeting of 2022.
2021.
I saw that, yes. I'm sure they'll have that fixed by next time. He's trying to tell me my mic's not on. Before we get into the meat of our meeting, I do want to recognize a couple of folks in the audience. Mr. Chambers, our liaison and councilman, is continuing his perfect attendance record into the new year. Tonight we also have our mayor, Mr. Andy Ross, with us tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, he would probably like to say a few words to the audience and the council.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, board members. I don't really have a real agenda tonight. I just wanted to come and see you. It's been a little while since I saw you. It's a new year. I've tried to get around to see the citizen boards at least once or twice a year if I can. I think most of you are probably more up on what's going on in the city than some other folks, but there's a lot of good stuff going on in Temple Terrace. We have a lot of really good projects underway, a lot of good development, some beneficial annexations, some good transportation projects in the pipeline, a lot of connectivity, a lot of focus on connectivity for bicycle and pedestrian links between our city and particularly USF and Uptown, but the system will ultimately be even bigger than that. Within a few years, if you wanted to, I don't think I do, but you could get on your bicycle where you're standing right now and ride all the way to downtown Tampa and stay on a trail. So that's coming. Transportation projects take a long time. It's going to be a little while, but it's coming. So financially, we're good. Redevelopment is going well. Slower than all of us would like, but what's going is going very well. We have had good interest. What's going up is good projects. We're doing very well. Any questions that you might have for me, or rumors, or things that you've heard? I'm sure you've heard stuff. You've been on Facebook. I know you have, right? Anything, be happy to answer.
I just have another question about schools. I've seen some activities about
Sure.
that you have a board for the schools and the support of the schools in the city of Temple Terrace.
We
Is there
do.
any update on that?
We do have, I assume you're speaking of the school support committee.
Yes.
We've had that for some time. One of the primary focuses of that committee is to evaluate applications for city-funded grants. Our city, us, you, me, as taxpayers, we segregate a certain amount of money every year to provide grants to classroom teachers. Usually they're what we consider to be smaller grants, but if you're a classroom teacher, that's a big deal. Most of them are 500, 1,000, sometimes they're 2,000, but they're fairly relatively small amounts. This year, I'm very happy to say that your council voted to double that allocation of money from $15,000 to $30,000. And we did that because of, and I hate, everything seems to go back to COVID, and I know you're as tired of that as I am, but a lot of it had to do with the impact that COVID had on the classrooms because they were teaching kids remotely and stuff, and now they were coming back. And the school district, as you know, is having severe financial issues of their own, so they're not able to give those classroom teachers any extra money beyond their regular budget. And so we doubled down here as a city and doubled that to, it's still only $30,000, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's really not if you divide it up. But it makes a huge impact if you're a classroom teacher and you get a $1,000 grant to do a project and you're a science teacher or STEM teacher, now you can do something like a couple of them have done robotics kind of projects where the kids can take the theory and actually put it into practical application and use. And so we tend to focus those grants on the lower grade levels on the advice of the school district. We talk a lot to the school district and the teachers and the principals. And if we can prepare these younger children, particularly in math, math and science are the big ones, but particularly in math. And if they can grasp the core math concepts earlier, then better prepare them for middle school, it will help Greco, and then it'll help King, and so on and so forth. So I'm very proud of the work that that committee does. I'm really always impressed with them. They pore over the details of these grant applications as if it were a $10 million grant. I mean, they really go through it, and they send them back sometimes and say, well, we'd like to see better measures on how you're going to, rate your success. And so the committee we have that makes recommendations to the council on dispersing these grants, they really do a tremendous job. They really do. So, did that answer your question? Okay. Anything else? Mr. Snelling?
I noticed that those apartments that are in the redevelopment area look like they're pretty close to being ready to go. Do you have a date on when they?
Oh, my goodness, I wish I did. Those apartments were supposed to be open, I don't know, a year ago. I don't know if it was a year, but it's a long time ago. And again, I get sick of blaming everything on COVID. But it's supply chain. That's the problem. And they are very close to being done. You're correct, but they've been very close to being done for quite some time. But they can't get the things that they need. And this week, I don't know what those items are. I mean, we've gotten some updates periodically about, they're waiting for toilets or sinks or whatever. I don't know what the issue is right this moment, but it's been supply chain. And the initial plan all along was I could have this wrong. One of the buildings was supposed to open about 2 months before the other building. That was on purpose because of labor and supplies. They were not exactly going at the same time so that the plumber could finish with this one and then move over to the next one. So there was built in the construction schedule was a staggered opening. But now both buildings are at the same stage of completion because of the supply chain stuff. The one slowed down, and since they had the parts on hand, they went ahead and put it in the other one. So now they should open together, but I don't even know if the contractor himself can give you a date because you order, whatever they're waiting for, faucets
I've
or.
heard they're taking applications for tenants, so they must be getting close.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And that's an important project to come to completion because we've always felt and still do that once that apartment complex opens, that will accelerate some of the other projects that are down there. I think some people are looking at this and waiting for them to be consumers there before they, which makes sense.
Any
Mr.
code changes or updates or things in the works at all?
Code changes?
Yeah, like anything.
There is one in the works. There is wholesale sweeping changes being proposed, being worked on to our noise ordinance. Our city's legal staff have been working on that for, I don't know, already a month, maybe a month now. That was something that was a priority that we wanted them to work on quickly. I will tell you, and you probably know this sitting on the code board, I learned it sitting on the code board too, that the two thorniest issues in your codes are signs and noise. And there's just no perfect sign ordinance and there's no perfect noise ordinance. But ours had some holes in it. And they distributed a draft about a week ago to the council members and some of the city administration for some feedback. And I thought it was a well-written ordinance, very workable, doable, fair, balanced. I did make some comments. I assume my colleagues on council probably did also. So this should be before the council soon. I don't know. I don't think it's on next week. It's probably not ready for next week, but it should be coming soon. Now, one of the things that we wanted to do and I'm glad you brought this up because I don't want anybody to misunderstand this. One of the things we wanted to do was to take this board out of the noise ordinance. And the reason for that is it's just difficult a month later or 2 months later to know what constitutes compliance. And then what do we, okay, you're in compliance, but then you go home and violate it again. It gets clunky to bring it here. So the new revised ordinance hasn't been passed yet, but will include the enforcement section will be that the police can write a civil citation to the violator instead of just giving them a door hanger. And a civil citation sets them a court date to go down to the courthouse before a judge. And we didn't have there's no reflection on this board at all. It was just, that's not the easiest, that's not the cleanest way to enforce that. It's different than, high grass or, it's something that needs to be done immediately, so.
That's the way to get compliance is to take care of it when it happens. So.
Yeah, so,
Mayor, can I chime in real quick?
sure.
But I know, I don't want you guys to be too disappointed. You will still get the dog barking key.
Lucky you.
Yay for-
I can't think, Mr. Hubert, I can't think of any other,
One more.
yeah, sure.
Is the liens, now it's going exactly like
Yeah.
what we planned it to be in front of the council.
What's that now?
The liens is going to,
The lien-
The lien
legal-
reduction, yeah, the lien reduction section of the ordinance was revised recently. And again, that was no reflection on you, but I'm glad you brought it up. I think this should, I hope anyway, that this was kind of presented to you at the time, but it's worthy to say it again. This was no reflection on this board or any of the particular decisions that you sent to us. That wasn't the issue. The issue was that were two big issues. First one was the timeliness. It took too long. And particularly, it took too long for prospective buyers of distressed properties. The regular garden variety lien reduction where you were the homeowner, you're the violator, and then you come before the board, that probably can take as long as it needs to take. But we were getting a number of people who were interested in buying distressed properties, and they would come here. Sometimes they would buy the properties ahead of time because they rolled the dice, right? Assuming that we would lower the lien. They would come here, you would give them a recommendation, and then they would have to get on our calendar and then come to us to get the regular reduction. Well, all of that linked together can be 60, 90 days, before they can get on, depending on the timing. And there was really no way to fast track that. Number two was you guys, this board can only consider evidence that's covered under your empowering legislation. The state law that allows this board to exist says what kinds of things you can consider. And you can't go outside of that. And those things are limited by state law to things pertaining to the original violation and so forth. So oftentimes you'd be tempted to ask, well, don't they owe the city money for delinquent water bill, or did they pay the debt that they owe to the permit office? Well, you can't ask that, and you can't consider that in your decision. So that was part of the problem. And there is a third. The third was, personally, I wanted for some time to implement what's called what is it called, where a person can, the compliance agreement program, like other cities have, whereby if somebody wants to buy a vacant or distressed property, they can come and negotiate what the city will take and under what conditions the city will take that reduced amount ahead of time, so they know whether they want to buy the property or not. And so to accomplish those three things is the reason that we revised the ordinance and put that to the city attorney. Because the city attorney can say, well, you also owe us, $3,000 for water, and we're not going to reduce this fine unless you can pay that too, So they can consider all of that. But they still come to the council in public and announce what settlements they've reached. It's not done, and it's not a backroom deal. And they just reached the first one. I think it was last meeting or the meeting before. They came before the council and told the world what the circumstances were and what they settled on.
Does the council have the capability to, change that?
No, and the reason we didn't do that, Mr. Snow, that's a good question. The reason we didn't do that, because we thought about that, and we talked about it, but it would just slow it back down, and that's one of the things we were trying to avoid, was to, so the middle ground that we struck was that they come tell us in a public meeting, they tell everybody what they did. And as a council, as their employer, if we're not pleased with the line of reasoning that they're using and we think they're coming in too high on these or too low on these or whatever, then we can discuss making some changes or giving them some better guidance or whatever. So, yeah, we're not just hands off, and they're not just going into a smoky room and making a deal. I mean, it's not like that. But we are trying to streamline it. And truthfully, I'll tell you, the council gets the credit. If there's anything bad in this, it's because of me. But one of the things I wanted to do was these compliance agreements. I've been talking about that since my days on the code board, because we saw, and not as many now, but we saw a lot of distressed properties, a lot of foreclosures, a lot of properties sat dormant. And one of the impediments to selling those properties and getting them rehabbed was the way we did our lien reductions. And when I talked to investors and I talked to prospective buyers, they said, yeah, I'd buy it, but I'm not going to roll the dice. There's $200,000 worth of liens on that. I don't know what you're going to reduce it to. If I knew ahead of time, I might buy it. And so that was one of the big motivators. Who asked that? Did you ask that? Okay. So I don't want to take up too much of your meeting. You have any other?
We would have been done by now, but
I know. I can fix that. Go out and get some people to come and speak forever on public comment.
no, appreciate you being here and filling us in and updating.
And, well, thank you, and if you, there's always, there's almost 30,000 people here. There's always a lot of information. Some of it's sometimes even true, but a lot of times it's, the beginning of it might have been true, but by the time it's shared 12 times on Facebook and retweeted and, it gets all kinds of fouled up. And so I'm here, there's really no reason for anybody to run around Temple Terrace and wonder anything or hear something on, around the water cooler and say, well, what's the deal with that? I'm very easy to find. So, and nobody ever takes me up on that. Nobody ever, well, now I get 1,000 calls, but nobody ever says, calls me and says, hey, I heard this. Can you tell me what's really going on? And I do wish people would do that more, so for all of us to have the right information. So, I do want to acknowledge Mr. Buckley's service on the code board. I understand this is your last meeting.
Well, I tried to get out a month early, but she corrected me.
Oh, you have one more
I
meeting?
have, so you can come back next time.
Okay, all right. Well,
Our meeting in February will be his last meeting.
okay. Well, I if I don't see you, I want to thank you for your service to the city.
My
I
pleasure.
very much appreciate you stepping up and helping and doing this. So,
Sure.
Unless he calls in sick next month.
thank you all and good night.
Thank you very much. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled meeting. Our next item on the agenda is our ex parte communications. Now I ask the members of the board if you've had any ex parte communications with anyone regarding any of the matters that are coming before the board this evening. If you've had verbal ex parte communications, please disclose the when, where, and with whom those communications occurred, as well as the sum and substance of the communications. If you received written ex parte communications, please disclose the form of the written communications, who sent you the communications, and the sum and substance of those communications. So with that, we'll start with you, Rod.
I've had none.
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 Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes. Has everybody received the minutes of December 8, 2021?
Yes.
Does anybody have any changes, additions, corrections?
No.
If not, I'll accept the motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay, on to our hearings, and as we do with all of our meetings, we will be taking some of these cases out of order. The first case that we will be hearing is case number 216306. Should be on page 2 or 3 of your agenda. 216306.
Oh, there it is, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance.
Lori, we haven't sworn anyone in yet.
Oh, my,
Gotcha.
everybody that plans on giving testimony tonight, if you could please stand and be sworn in by the clerk. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thanks for catching that.
And then I just need to introduce the case.
And then what, I'm sorry?
She needs to introduce the case.
Case number 216306, City versus Nehad Darwish for the property located at 6319 East 113th Avenue. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits, application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Lori.
Lori.
Lori Smith.
Lori.
The officer will be Lori Smith.
You guys look alike. Thank you, Lori. Thank
Good
you.
evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. On November the 12th, 2021, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At that time, I completed a notice of violation with the compliance date of November the 29th, 2021. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent both certified and first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on November the 12th, 2021, and a copy of the stop work order for plumbing for interior reno in Central Square.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows a stop work order in Central Square. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, is the respondent here?
Yes, sir.
Before the respondent steps up, I know, Amir, I think you're involved in this. Is there anything you want to add?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, I'm Municipal building official. As she has stated, none of the permit has been satisfied. We have not received a plumbing application, and only application we receive is for the interior reno. Again, the homeowner is communicating with the staff as far as submitting additional documentation in order to proceed.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any questions for Mr. Amir?
So they're lacking permit for plumbing, or is it specific?
Right, the first citation came to light for interior reno and the plumbing or bathroom renovation. So, pretty much.
So right now, the only outstanding permit is for plumbing, correct?
Plumbing and reno,
Okay,
yes.
plumbing and renovation, okay.
Renovation, okay.
However, the homeowner or the applicant submitted an application for interior reno, but they need to provide additional documentation in
So
order
they
to,
submitted one application for reno, but they need to include,
the plumbing too.
The plumbing,
The
okay.
plumbing has to be a separate
you.
application, yes.
The applicant is here? Be sure to state your name and address for the record, please.
Salim Khan. My address is 6319 East 113th Ave. Temple Terrace, Florida 33617. We applied for it with the interior reno, and we just put what we were doing on it. Nehad got an email response from Cheryl and said that she needed to do drawings also. So obviously we're not the ones that can do the drawings. So we hired an architect engineering company, Jimmy Ruckus, and we got that notice about December. We got an email saying, hey, this application won't be able to do just an owner permit. You need to do plumbing also, but you also need to get drawings. So we ended up hiring that engineering architect firm, but with all the holidays and everything, and with all these big engineering firms and architect firms, they basically, I called him today, he said that he cannot get to us until May 15th. Yeah, so, and Nehad hasn't been living there. I'm her business partner, so I've been trying to help her, and like, she's a single mom financially, so I basically paid her engineer for her just to get this sped up. I forgot my phone at home, but I had the check where I had, gave him already a deposit to draw it out for her. And, cause has her dad, he has stage 4 cancer, so she's been taking care of him. I have his paperwork, if that will help or anything. But, we need to get the drawings from the architect first before we can give it to the plumber and get the
You said you
permits pulled out.
Paid him, you paid him to?
Oh, deposit to get the drawings.
Was that to expedite it, or is that still May? We still talking May?
March 15th.
March now?
Yeah, I called him today, I was like, hey, we have a hearing today, I need to give them an update, because we need to go stand in front of them, and they need to make some kind of decision, so I need to know what day you plan to get us the drawings. He said by March 15, he can have them to me. He said if it's sooner, he'll let me know, but obviously, I need to go with that date. And then we can give that to the plumbing and come give it to Amir, because we already spoke to Amir, and this was before, so we just drew out what we did down. Then we got a response from the staff saying, hey, this is not enough, the application's not enough to do this. You also need to get a permit for plumbing, and you need to provide us with drawings.
Any questions for the respondent?
Yeah, so which of the two permits are delayed? The renovation or the plumbing?
Well, we can't get the interior renovation or the plumbing without the drawing first,
Oh, I see.
because it's all together.
Okay.
Because it's like the layout of the bathroom remodel and stuff like that, so.
Is the work completed?
No, it's like still, it's still 50-50 there, because when they told us to stop, she left to go take care of her dad, and we'll just wait for the drawings.
Any other questions?
Yeah, was there any other company available that could be?
We did, but they were like way more, and they're just around the same time. You have to understand a little interior remodel for these big builders, right? And we all know the economy is booming right now. Our architect's gonna make $1,200, $1,500 from doing drawings for an interior house. I'm building a house right now, they're charging me 12 grand. So they're not gonna put their stuff on the back burner for that to go speed this up.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Might try it?
Okay?
In case number 216306, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the city Temple Terrace code exists on the property located at 6319 East 113th Avenue, Temple Terrace. The applicable codes of violation is permit required, which is section 8-28, subsection 8, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Laurie Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, of which received and entered as part of this record for this hearing. I further move that that said violation be corrected on or before. I'm tempted to put it till March 9th, skip next month, March 9th, 2021. If the respondent does not comply with this order or before the day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past that date for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
Okay, point of order, in your motion, you said 2021.
2022.
So
I
we
correct
have a
that.
motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
Go for it.
I would say might as well just push it to April. We know that it's not gonna be until the 15th. The meeting's on the 9th.
I was gonna go to April, but I thought that
Oh, they
he
can
can go and ask for extension.
They can come in March and tell us how close they are.
Yeah.
I've never had a contractor come back and give me something early. Just,
I know.
I'm ready to amend that if everybody is good with it.
Yeah, I can go either way. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
I'm ready to go to April.
I just thought he might be able to come.
Because I know how it is.
Status report, but if there's no.
We'd like to have people come back and tell us things and keeps the ball moving.
Well, I mean, it's up to you, Rod, if you wanna,
Well, I was ready for discussion. If you want, you can always, also, it's not, you know, you can.
No, I know,
come
we
back.
had it before for our
Yeah.
exterior, so.
You can come back and ask us,
Yeah.
you know, I need another month and we can, you know, I'll keep this motion.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. So you have until March. If you know you're not gonna, if it doesn't happen, you know the drill. You come back in front of us and let us know.
Okay,
Good luck. Thank
thank you,
you.
appreciate it.
Next case will be case number 216401.
Case number 216401, City versus OfferPad LLC for the property located at 102 Mission Hills Avenue. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance. This case originated by Community Development on November 17th, 2021 for interior renovation, plumbing and electrical work without a permit. I generated a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of November 25th. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both regular and certified mail, to the owner of record. My reinspection on December 23rd showed no changes, so I prepared a notice of hearing and scheduled the case for the January Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on November 17th and December 29th, 2021.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibit number 2 shows the plumbing stop work order. This time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, as the site is in compliance and I'm seeking a finding.
Thank you. We'll accept that. Any other questions for the code officer? Thank you. Is the respondent here? No? Amir, do you have anything to add? No? Okay, thank you.
Did you say not in compliance or?
It is in
Is in
compliance. It is in
That's what I
compliance.
thought you said, thank you.
So, no further questions, then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do that. In case number 21-6401, I move the city is proven by a greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 102 Mission Hills Avenue. Code sections 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case, which will be 216402.
Case number 216402, City versus True Capital Group LLC for the property located at 105 Deer Park Avenue. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence of the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance. This case was originated by Community Development on November 17th for plumbing, electrical, and interior renovation work without a permit. I generated a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of November 25th, 2021. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. A reinspection on December 23rd showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the January Municipal Code Board meeting. I would like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on November 17th and December 29th, 2021.
We'll accept that, thank you.
These are each permit, right?
Correct. Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the violation. Exhibit number 2 shows the plumbing stop work order. Exhibit number 3 shows the electrical stop work order. Exhibit number 4 shows the interior renovation stop work order. The site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling. I did speak, the property owner did contact me yesterday and said he is in the process of having plans drawn, expects to pick them up within the next week, and expects to submit them at that time for permits.
Okay. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, is the respondent here?
No, sir.
Okay, Amir, you have anything to add? No, sir. Okay, thank you. If there's no further questions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 21-6402, I move the city as proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist at the property located at 105 Deer Park Avenue. Applicable code violation is section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1.
Sorry.
This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before February 9th, 2022. The respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day. They are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move the fine be $25 per day.
You have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case. We're at the, back at the start, right?
We are.
Oh, okay.
The next case would be 21-1592.
We have unfinished people.
Okay, you want to do that first? Okay.
We can go ahead and take the first one.
Okay,
Case
so
number,
210786?
yes.
Okay.
City versus James L. Evans and Joyce A.G. Evans for the property located at 11305 East Queensway Drive. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent is here.
Just be sure to state your name and address for the record, please.
I will. James Evans, 11.
Oh, wait till you get up here, the mic can't read you.
I don't want to touch anything. James Evans, 11305 East Queensway Drive, Temple Terrace, 33617. Basically, I got a great update. I finally got a settlement agreement with the insurance company between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know if they just suddenly had a Christmas spirit, but they dropped my deductible from $35,000 to $7,620, which is something I can actually work with. They assigned me two things I agreed to is the deductible with the wind directory and to use their adjuster contractor person company. And their first meeting with me was today at 2 o'clock. We went over the house from end to end and all through the pictures, and he took pictures, and I had my pictures from the original incident. And everything seemed on the up and up. He said, okay, he's fine, he's leaving, and he'd give me a call. So I can't tell you when they're going to call me back. I assume it's going to be shortly, but I don't know. It'll probably be next week, hopefully. But basically, whatever they tell me, I'm going to probably just say, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever I can. So I have absolutely no way to tell you anything other than what I've told you until I hear from them.
Yeah, so why don't you go back in history a little bit and tell us, it was a roof
It was a
and
chimney
right?
that there was a beam that cracked, and I was trying to straighten it, and then the whole problem with that hurricane that passed us way out in the Gulf, we had a wind event, certain winds, certain speeds, whatever their rule is, but during the night, during the storm, the chimney toppled, fell on the side of the house, fell on the garage, and landed on one of my friend's cars that was parked in my driveway. And it's been ongoing since then. I've tried to fix it.
So you've
My
removed
health
the
has
chimney,
been-
right?
I'm the guy with the chimney, yeah.
You removed the chimney, you've got the roof tarp.
Chimney's down, I got the roof covered. I stockpiled, I took the brick every because it's a brick chimney. I knew we didn't have enough brick to fix the chimney, but we'd have enough brick to at least fix the side of the house where it pulled the brick off. So that was part of the meeting today, was I had him take pictures of about a big cube of block I have, the brick that I've saved, and I've still got the trailer full of the broken brick, but there's still whole brick in there that could be chiseled out if we run short a couple. So that's the only reason I've kept it there.
If I remember correctly, the last time you were here, you were going to do most, if not all, the work yourself?
I was going to, but then they advised me that if I start doing work myself, I would have a problem with the insurance claim. They would just like maybe deduct that part and say that's your problem, not ours. So I'd wind up paying for it twice with a deductible if they, you know.
So the current plan is that, so you, do you
Now
have,
the current plan is just get them out there. They were, like I said, they came today to make the adjustment and the estimate. And I know they'll come back to me and say, here's what we're gonna allow, and you gotta pay the first $6,720. And if it's anywhere near reasonable, I'm just gonna say go.
so all that would,
I'm hoping that's gonna happen in the next week. Now, whether they show up to
yeah,
do
but
the work.
my point is, let's assume that you get some sort of agreement between you and your insurance company. That's all gonna require some sort of permits, right?
Yeah, they'll have to get a roofing permit.
And then you have to, and I guess they have a contractor that they like to use.
Contractor is the guy that came.
Okay,
He's an adjuster and he's a
he's
contractor.
the adjuster and the contractor.
Yeah, that was what State Farm, I won't say.
And
State
what
Farm.
did
That's
he-
what the insurance company, if I was willing to use their independent adjuster contractor to do the whole thing, they wouldn't even send an adjuster
And
out.
what did he say about his ability to start?
He would have to get the numbers back with State Farm. He didn't give me a date. And the only thing we talked about was, I said, I assume you're gonna need a brick mason to come out here and look at the brick that I rescued and try to calculate if that's enough brick to fix the wall. I said, but I know you can't I know you can't match the brick, and you're sure not gonna re-brick the whole house. So we'll do something, I don't wanna do the chimney at all, but if I tell them that, they'll just deduct it from the estimate, and it'll just cost me more money. So I'm not gonna say that to them until I get a number out of them.
So he's gonna sub out the brickwork only and do the roof? Is that the plan?
It's one of these restoration companies that they do everything. They go in and do carpet, drywall, shingles, whatever it takes. That's why
And they'll pull the permit and all that good stuff.
they do all the permitting themselves.
Okay,
I was so thrilled that they finally waived that insurance. I'll tell you that right now, because the financial efforts and with my health and everything like I've been going through, it's just miserable.
any other questions for the respondent?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure so the work that this contractor is gonna do, that will complete everything
That'll
and
be
resolve all the permits, and that there's
Yeah.
no work waiting that you're gonna have to do.
I'm sure they're gonna stick me with something in addition to the $6,720, but at least we got somebody there that says, I can do the work and I have the subs.
Yeah, but from our perspective, once that work is done,
Oh, yeah, we're 100% done.
all the violations will be
Yeah,
resolved.
as soon as that brick mason comes, I can get that trailer with all the broken brick out of there, because if he doesn't need anything left in that trailer, there's no reason to keep it there. I was just keeping it in case they needed brick to finish the work.
I probably asked you that before, but everything right now is at the safety level for.
Yeah, you can walk around, we had no
You
problem.
just got tarps on top.
I've got all the tarps on it, yeah, nothing's falling off the house. That's safe, that's good, yeah.
Any other questions for the respondent?
Yeah, is February 9th, does that work for you, or would you request
Well,
more time, or?
I assume I could come back on the 9th, and at least, hopefully they would have contacted me, I'm certain by then. I mean,
Yeah, I
we're
would
in the
think so too.
close to the middle of the month, but I would think that 2 weeks would be reasonable for them to do an estimate.
Oh.
Now, whether they show up to do any work by that time, I doubt.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they would have the work done by then.
But I
know you've
have
been
no
in here so
problem,
many
if
times.
you wanna put it on February 9th, I have no problem coming back and say, yeah, they called me and they gave me some stupid price, or,
Yeah,
yeah, they're all good, and they're scheduling people to
move
show up
fast.
right now.
Those,
And if they authorize it, I'll let them, they can come in and start the roof portion over the garage part
Okay,
right away.
you can have a seat, thank you.
All right,
Director Barone is requesting that an extension not be granted on this case.
Okay.
This case has been going on since June of last year.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
I will attempt that. I know, Mr. Barone.
So before you start, let's just get some clarity from council.
Yes.
Since this is old business, it wouldn't be until the next month, it would be, right? Wouldn't be find him in violation, and if it's not cleared up by February 9th, the fine starts, what's right?
Right, I mean, you've already made a ruling on this case.
Right.
You've just been extending that
Extended.
deadline.
Right. So the motion would be to no longer extend the deadline, and the fines would begin immediately, I guess, right?
Tomorrow, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's, if that's the motion that someone makes, that's what will happen, is the fines will begin tomorrow.
With respect to Mr. Barone, I would like to give the gentleman one more month. And I want to put it also as, that would be the last extension.
Well, and that's the thing, we can't say it would, that means if the work isn't done, and if the permits aren't pulled by February 9th, then the fine starts at that point.
They'll be in violation.
Well, we don't have to
They're on
do that to ourselves. We can make that decision next month. We don't have to decide that now. But I definitely agree that, you know,
The choice, if whoever makes the motion, the choices are to extend it or not extend it. It's that simple.
yeah. Are you gonna make a motion, Rod?
I'll make it.
Okay.
Let me organize myself here. And
But you don't need there's no
Yeah,
script for that.
I know,
All
I
you
know.
gotta do is
I know.
say,
Just, in case number 21-078, City versus James and Joyce A.J. Evans, I would like to extend the deadline to start the fine till, this time I'll get the year correct, February 9th, 2022.
okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion?
I can add notes to that, also, it'll be the last
Because
extension.
we'd make a ruling next month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can I just add that, not to the motion, but if he comes back next month and this isn't finished, if I could ask that he bring some documentation or written paperwork showing that he's making progress, so we can confirm your good faith that you've continued to make throughout this long journey. Yeah, I know you've been here many times and stuff, but, you know.
I appreciate, all the issues I've had,
Yeah, wait, if you're gonna say, hold on, it's really not your time to talk. Okay, thank you. So,
Yeah, I'm not asking Rod to add that to the motion, I just wanted to, say that, I think.
okay, appreciate it. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays. Okay, so you've been granted an extension to February 9th, next month. Obviously, if things aren't done, you need to come back in front of us and,
regardless, I'll be back either with an update or the paperwork to show this update.
thank you.
So it's in progress, so.
You
Good
heard.
luck.
Thank you.
Okay, next case, 21-18-1856.
Yes, case number 21-1856, City versus Alma Aponte for the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent is here.
Okay. I assume we're not in compliance?
No, oh, you're doing another one of the,
Before you start, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Adrian Aponte. I live at 101 Deer Park Avenue, Temple Terrace, Florida, 33617. I am back from my monthly meeting with y'all again. Same situation. I'm the guy that, like, when we started this in October, the roofing company that is dealing with my insurance sent the lawyer here to speak on my behalf. We're still in the same situation. I texted him today, and he's just too positive for me to even be comfortable with anymore. He keeps saying he's gonna get it, and they're just talking, I guess, numbers now, so.
Have you gotten anything from the insurance company or from him?
No, I signed a contract with him, I believe, back in March, April of last year, and they've been dealing with the insurance company the whole time. We have had an adjuster come out from the insurance company and meet with him, but that was back in last May. And I still haven't had any information since then, and neither have they. They sent the lawyer out here October, and he spoke on my behalf, and that's pretty much the same information I'm with right now.
No change since October.
No, sir. I mean, it's been so long, the tarps are just brittle and falling apart. I've been having to change them lately, so it's more of a headache on me than anybody.
I mean, like, I would be okay.
Hang on. Any questions for the respondents?
I have.
Go ahead.
You're having a roofing issue?
So, the issue is, just the roof is so old and deteriorating that it's leaking in my house, so I have the tarps that I'm putting over. We filed a claim with the insurance company because we know there's been a couple roofs already on our block that's had to been changed out, termite damage. One actually collapsed. We had talked about that last time. I'm just trying to deal with the insurance company, trying to get them to give me a response if they're gonna pay for it or not. When we signed with the insurance company, they said it was so bad, it was about a $24,000 repair. They're talking about completely switching out truss. So that's the whole situation. I mean, we're holding off on remodeling the house because of this situation, because of the permits that we have to pull, but they told us if we start pulling permits to remodel the house, the insurance company would just tell us straight up, then the roof is your problem now because of the remodeling that we're doing to the house.
Any other questions for the respondent?
Yeah, so they haven't told you no.
They have not told
They
me
just haven't
no.
given you an answer since.
They have not told me yes. They are literally in the works of discussing numbers. That was the best.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
Roof guy. So
Well, and that's the thing, the insurance company will not talk to you, they'll
Well,
only talk to
hang
the
on, hang on.
attorney.
This is question time.
Yeah.
well, yeah, he is bringing up a point though. When I talked to the roof guy, I told him, hey, do I need to call the insurance company? He told me no. Once I make contact with the insurance company, they're gonna tell me straight up, we're not dealing with you. You signed a contract with this company. These are the adjusters we're dealing with now.
Any other questions for the respondent? Does Mr. Baroni have an opinion on this particular?
Baroni will not like an extension granted on this.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I would, I guess, in case number 21-1856, City versus Alma Ponte, I would like to give an extension until February 9th as well. And I guess we'll just leave it at that.
Like I said, if I need to, I'll call the insurance company.
Hang on. There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Again, I agree with Mr. Next time, if something is not, we need a lot of evidence, a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of,
Yes, sir.
you know.
Like dated things that
Yes,
show
sir.
you've made
So like I said,
progress.
I'll call the roofing company. I have contracts, like I brought it the first time on October. I had the contracts with the signatures of the dates, when the adjusters had came out, and the lawyer had the rest of the information. I'm stuck in a hard place, man. I don't have $24,000 to dish out on a roof. I mean, this was a house that my mother and my father bought, and I inherited once my father passed, and I'm just, I'm 30 years old, 3 children deep. I'm just trying to make it along, man.
Okay, so you got into the 9th. If either way, we'll see you on the 9th.
Okay, just
Okay.
pretty much bring some hard evidence, I'm guessing, next
Yeah,
time.
anything you can get, the attorney should be able to send you something.
Okay.
You have to understand that we can't give you 2 years' worth of extension.
And I trust me, I understand. I'm kind of to the point where I know I'm screwed. I understand.
Well, hopefully not.
Well, good luck to you. Thank you very much.
Oh, do we actually vote?
Yes, we do. Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next case, 21-3954.
Yes. City versus Michael Herrenboer and Maria H. Alvarez Reyes for the property located at 201 Forest Park Avenue. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent is here.
Okay, come on up, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Aramburu Rodriguez, and I live in 201 Forest Park Avenue, 3370. And I come for extend my permits. I have the permits for the plumber and the mechanic. The only I need is the electric, but the electric not show today in my house. Supposed he come today for us for the permits, for he was sick, and he say he's coming tomorrow. That is the problem I come for us for the extend.
Okay, so the permit's been pulled? You have a permit?
Yes, I have the permits. I have the permits for the electric, for the plumber, and the mechanic.
Wish Amir hadn't left.
The only I need is the electric, but the guy not show today here in the city.
So the electrician was supposed to come to your house today with the permit?
Exacto. He need come today here to the city.
Oh, he's supposed to come with you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's supposed to come down to the city to get the
Make
permit?
the permit, yes.
Okay,
I have
so
the 2 permits, the mechanic and the plumber.
Okay, so you don't have the electrical yet?
Exacto, that is the only
Your electrician was supposed to come down to the city hall today to get the permit. He got sick and couldn't do it.
Yeah, exacto, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, once again, what is Mr. Baroni's position?
Barone did not say anything on this one, sir.
Okay. All right, so, do you have what's the name of your electrician?
I know, I have Fidel, but I don't know the exact to the name. I need to see if you have the message here.
What's this name? Board, this one? Michael.
Well, let me,
The one I show you here,
that's okay, you don't have to show me. Just,
it's Fidel Perez. I don't know exactly the number. The company he put here on one side, but
okay. You probably ought to let the building department know who he is and he's coming down or when he's coming down, because the only way to get compliance with this particular case is to get all the permits, okay?
okay.
It's not a matter of getting the work done, it's a matter of just getting the permits. So once again, council, board, you are faced with to give an extension or not give an extension. And if there's are there any questions for the respondent?
Yes, work is completed,
No.
so you still have, what's completed?
No. I begin now the plumbing and the mechanic.
He hasn't done any of the work.
Nothing of the, none of
Compliance has nothing to do with the work. Compliance has everything to do with getting the permit.
permit. Now you obtained mechanical
Mechanical and plumbing.
plumbing. You still have one more permit. Okay, and electrical. Does it require drawings and all that?
Yeah, I have everything.
The drawings are ready and everything is ready just to submit?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, the 9th is good?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Okay. There's no further questions. I'll entertain a motion.
try that. In case number 21-3954, City versus Michael Humber and Maria Alvarez Reyes, I move that the city extend the deadline till February 9th, 2022.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So we're back to old business, or new business, rather?
Hearings.
Back to hearings, okay.
This guy's waiting for you to release him.
You're good. So you got until February 9th. Just so you understand, if you don't have the permit by then, you need to come back in front of us and let us know what's going on, okay? Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, from the beginning. Case number 21-1592, City versus Peter B. and Genevieve M. Holst for the property located at 5215 Lawnwood Drive. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of section 12861E6. Fences appearance case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance. This case was originated by me on March 3rd, 2021 for a vehicle-damaged exterior perimeter wall. At that time, I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of April 15th, 2021. I had contact with the representatives of the property owner who were in the process of repairing the wall. On the day they were scheduled to repair the wall, another vehicle ran into the wall, causing much more damage.
Yeah, how close to the street?
It's 5215 Lawnwood Drive.
I spoke with the representatives again, and they were in the process of getting estimates and contacting the insurance company of the vehicle. I stayed in contact multiple times, and they were moving forward, but very slowly. After extending the reinspection deadline several times, I prepared a notice of violation on November 5th, 2021, with a reinspection date of December 6, 2021. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall, and copies were mailed at both certified and regular mail to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on December 21st showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared and the case was scheduled for the January Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on November 5th and December 21st.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Wow.
Is this on Fowler?
No, this is off of Mission Hills.
Mission.
Wow.
Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the damaged wall, and exhibit number 3 shows the damaged wall. The small hole to the far right was the first one.
Is that a scooter?
I don't know. I didn't see what hit it, but I would imagine whatever hit it the second time must have had some extenuating damage.
Looks like a Wile E. Coyote hit it.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be on Facebook.
The site's not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling. We have been working with a gentleman who is in contact this past week with City Hall to get a permit to try to get all this finally resolved.
He has been in contact with the city? Okay.
So hopefully, I don't know if it'll be completely planned, submitted, reviewed, and work started by next month, but should be farther along than we have been.
Okay.
And they missed that
Well,
sign
hang
both
on,
times?
hang on, guys. Any other questions for the code officer?
Whose responsibility is this wall?
The individual property owner. It's a townhouse community, but the way it's deeded, the individual units obviously run from the curbside on the front all the way to this rear wall.
Okay, so it's whatever in his backyard has to be fixed.
Right.
Now, did they catch the vehicle that?
I believe so. I do believe that the insurance adjuster has been out, and I do believe there has been compensation made for repair of the wall. So that's another hurdle that's obviously a major issue that has been one of the items that has been taken care of.
And it's still in violation, so we have to give you a ruling on that.
Yes.
Correct.
All right.
Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do this one.
Okay,
if That's okay.
fine.
All right. In case number 21-1592, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace Code exists on the property located at 5215 Lawnwood Drive, Code Section 12-861, subsection E, subsection 6. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before February 9th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by a violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
You have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case,
Case number 216040, City versus Abdelhafiz Atiyeh for the property located at 10317 Council's Way. Case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 1034, Sanitation, Keep Premises Clean. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance. This case was originated by me on October 26, 2021, for a mattress stored behind the residence. I left the door hanger at the site with a reinspection date of November 4th, 2021. My reinspection on that date showed no change, so a notice of violation was prepared with a reinspection date of November 12th. Posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on December 23rd showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared and the case was scheduled for the January Municipal Code Board meeting. At this time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on November 4th and December 23rd, 2021.
Accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the NOV posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the mattress behind the residence. At this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance. As the site is in compliance, I'd like to submit an affidavit and seek their finding.
Accept that, thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Do it.
Thank you.
In case number 216040, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence, the following violation of the city Temple Terrace city code did exist on the property address 10317 Council's Way, with the applicable codes, section 10, subsection 34. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Case number 216077, City versus Foundation for the challenged for the property located at 6607 Bay Brook Circle. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 10(4)(b)(3) nuisance. Any condition or use case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence and notice of violation and notice of hearing are both properly served.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated from a citizen complaint on October the 28th, 2021. An inspection by arborist Doug Allen on that day revealed 2 dead pine trees on the east side of the property. At that time, I left a door hanger with a compliance date of the 15th of November 2021. My inspection on November the 16th, 2021 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of the 3rd of December 2021. Affidavit of service was hand-delivered to resident Megan Lee, and I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on December the 27th, 2021 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on December the 28th, 2021, showing the violations.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the 2 nuisance pine trees close to the neighbor's property. Exhibit number 2 shows 2 dead pine trees located on the east side of the structure. Mr. Chairman, I was contacted via email on Friday, January the 7th, 2022, by Audrey Mahone with Real Estate Property Management, advising of the tree removal the week of the 10th of January. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance, and at this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm just looking for a finding.
Good, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Just had one
Go ahead.
sort of you said arborist Doug Allen, is that the same Doug Allen?
Yes.
He does it all? Okay, awesome. It's good to know.
Very good.
Are you the city's arborist now, or is the other gentleman still here? Oh, wow.
Lori, before you sit down, I just have a quick question for you. We don't see this particular section that often, nuisance, any condition or use. Could you just kind of enlighten us what other examples might fall under that particular category? I'm trying to put you on the spot, but.
Loud noise, sir, loud noise would fall up under a public nuisance. Maybe an noxious odor. Anything that infringes upon the well-being, the enjoyment of the neighborhood would be considered as a nuisance.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One question. A dead tree is a nuisance.
Yes, sir. The owner was concerned that during a storm that the trees may fall and hit his house because it was very, very close.
So we look at this because it's pine, or could we?
Dead. It's dead.
Dead pine.
Health and safety issue.
Yes, sir.
Safety, yes, from the safety issues, yes, okay.
Okay. There's no other questions. I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll take this one.
Thank you.
All right, in case number 21-6077, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 6607 Baybrook Circle. The applicable code section is 10-4 subsection B subsection 3. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays. Next case, motion passes.
Okay, our next case will be case number 216239, City versus Stephanie R. Haughton and Catrina A. Ellis for the property located at 5301 Rainbow Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of section 22-340 sanitation collection practice. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening, board members. Mr. Chairman, Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated on Saturday, November 6, 2021. My inspection at the time noted the extended curbside presence of the city trash receptacle by the curb in front of the residence after pickup. I immediately went to an NOV since this was the third violation at the residence. Previous violations were on June 6, 2021, which I addressed by a door hanger, and it was corrected. The second violation was August 21st, 2021, by Director Baroni, who addressed it with a notice of violation, which came into compliance. I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of November 10th, 2021. I posted notice at the home as well as City Hall and mailed copies, both certified, regular mail, to the address of the registered owner. My inspection on November 18th, 2021 noted no trash cans by the curb, so I closed the case, bringing the property into compliance. On December 10th, I observed the trash can again by the curb the day after pickup. Since it was in 45 days and the violation reoccurred, I set it for the MCB. I have four photographs to submit at this time. The notice posted at the residence, the cans by the curb on December 10th, Friday, December 14th, Tuesday. I'd like to submit those.
We'll accept those, thank you.
The trash collections for those days are Monday and Thursday, so there should be no trash cans out on Tuesday and Friday. City code requires that the cans be placed out curbside on the afternoon, the day before, and picked up by the evening that day of pickup. At this time, the property is in compliance. I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
It is in compliance.
It is in compliance.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yes, I do. You probably have the same question. I missed somehow, they were in compliance, then they had a violation, then they corrected it, then they had a violation, then they corrected it. It's the same thing. Is this considered a repeated violation, or?
Not a repeat, because it hasn't.
Has not
This is the
been a
first
violation?
None of them made it to us.
Yes, none of it, okay. All right. But they understand now?
You understand?
Okay.
You had a question?
Yeah, just a general question. It sounds like, based on the last violation, that you pretty much give them till the next day. You don't necessarily go by there that night and.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's Thursday, you go by Friday.
Friday.
It should be inside by Thursday evening.
Right.
On their trash days.
Okay.
Also, this is an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll try that.
Okay.
In case number 216239, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the city Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 5301 Rainbow Drive, with the applicable codes violation 22-340. And this motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no imposed imposed fine. No fine imposed on, because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Just to your original question, now that it's been brought in front of us and there's been a determination, the next instance within how many days?
45, I think.
45.
45 will be a repeat, and that means it has to be brought into compliance like that second, right? So, okay, next case.
Case number 216270, City versus David J. Smith for the property located at 12607 North 51st Street. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 128593, RVs, boats, and trailers, non-commercial. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on November the 9th, 2021. My inspection revealed an Airstream camper parked on the driveway. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of November the 17th, 2021. My reinspection on November the 22nd, 2021 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of December 6, 2021. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand to David Smith, and I requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on the 27th of December 2021 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation that was taken by me on December the 28th, 2021.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows the Airstream camper parked on the driveway. As of today's date at 5 o'clock, the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
You said not, right?
Not.
Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make it.
Thank you.
In case number 21-6270, move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the city Temple Terrace City Code existed on the property located at 12607 North 51st Street. Code violation is Section 12-859 subsection 3. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before February 9th. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator. I move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please. 216333. Right?
Yes, sir.
Case number 216333, City versus Grace A. Binder for the property located at 6128 Whiteway Drive. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 8102, subsection 22, maintenance of structures, maintain in good repair, and Section 103B, sanitation, grass, weeds. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively on November the 12th, 2021. My inspection revealed the rear yard overgrown and the carport area cluttered with interior furnishings. At that time, I left 2 door hangers with the reinspection date of November the 15th, 2021. My inspection on the 23rd of November 2021 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of December the 13th, 2021. No one was at home, so I posted the notice letter at the front door and requested copies be sent certified in first-class mail to the owner of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on December the 20th, 2021 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on the 28th of December showing the violations.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Laura?
Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows the rear yard, grass, weeds are overgrown. Exhibit number 3 shows interior furnishing storage on the carport. Exhibit number 4 shows carport area stored with household furnishings. As of today's date, the site is now in compliance. At this time, I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance. I'm just looking for a finding.
Thank you, we'll accept that. Any other questions for the code officer?
A lot of cleaning.
No doubt.
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Try that too.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
In case number 216333, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the city of Temple Terrace city codes did exist on this property located at 6128 Whiteway Drive with 2 applicable codes for violations, section 8-102, subsection 22, and violation section 10-3, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony the board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. I believe that is it, right? For hearings, yes.
Did I miss something? I just wanted to, case number 21-6239, that's on the list. I don't know if that,
What's the case number?
21-6239, did I miss?
It was, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
one, you
that
did
was-
that one.
I did that one? Okay, I don't know, I'm just, there's a lot of cases tonight.
Okay, so we're done with the hearings.
Yes.
We have some unfinished business.
Unfinished business and the liens list.
Yep.
Okay. For unfinished business, we've did the first 2 cases and the 4th case.
Yeah, so 3784 is the next one.
Case number 213784, City versus Natalie Bruce Holmes and Julie P.B. Talent for the property located at 6112 East 110th Avenue. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 214324, City versus JR Premier Properties, LLC, for the property located at 608 Courtney Drive. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Silva for Section 828A1 dated December 9th, 2021. Case number 214950, City versus Point Plaza Lot 3, LLC, for the property located at 8710 Harney Road. The expiration of compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 215268, City versus HSR Tampa LLC for the property located at 8728 Beverly Drive. Expiration of compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 215315, City versus Stephen Andrew Segrest for the property located at 724 Argyle Place. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Section 810213B dated December 17th, 2021. Case number 215354, City versus Peninsula Holding Group, LLC, for the property located at 533 Broxburn Avenue. Expiration of compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 215699, City versus Mark Harrison and Lori Harrison for the property located at 305 Bannockburn Avenue. The expiration of compliance is tonight at midnight. And then we just have, other board action, quarterly liens list review.
Yeah, and Ernie, I'm gonna ask the same question I always ask. We've got a couple on here that, one of them, I guess, dates back to 2008. Have we looked at other properties or anything else that we can do?
The case number 080292, that is a homestead property.
Okay,
So
yeah, okay.
Is Mike?
Well, if we sent letters out,
Your mic's not on.
you want me to repeat all that, or?
Yeah.
It's up to, I don't know about, is that, do you need to
I
repeat?
said that's a homestead, shown as a homestead
Okay.
property, so we won't be able to take any type of foreclosure action. The next two cases there, 16-2397, 17-2613, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place, that is in the foreclosure process.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Any other questions for council? That's it?
I just have to read them into the record.
Okay, go ahead.
We do have one in compliance. That is case number 213858, City versus BN Empire LLC, 11009 North 56th Street.
Okay, very good.
And the remaining cases are continuing noncompliance. Case number 080292, City versus Christopher B. York, 7604 Leon Avenue. Case number 162397, City versus Dudley A. Black, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place. Case number 172613, Dudley A. Black, 9408 Hidden Ridge Place. Case number 172746, James Stevens Johnson and Glenda Johnson, 104 Holland Avenue. Case number 194940, City versus Robert and Lisa McNeil, 9406 Hidden Ridge Place. Case number 201531, Vincent R. and Cynthia Adkins, 5513 Temple Heights Road. Case number 204202, McNatt Family Enterprises, Ltd., 12904 North 56th Street. 205214, City versus Timothy Thibodeau, 113 Glen Ridge Drive. Case number 21604, City versus Anthony and Jillian Moore, 941 North River Hills Avenue. Case number 2170, City versus A&T Hospitality LLC, 13294 Telecom Drive. Case number 211177, City versus Nicholas Drew Teeling and Rachel Teeling, 716 Druid Hills Road. Case number 213728, City versus Craig Brunstein, 418 Ferncliff Avenue. Case number 213797, City versus John Ziegler, 306 South Burlingame Avenue. Case number 214556, City versus Peninsula Holding Group LLC, 533 Broxburn Avenue.
Okay. Question on 210070, if I remember correctly, that's a hotel, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What are our options on that? I mean, they've been out of compliance since August of last year. I mean, and it sounds like, I mean, it's, you know, parking lot I get, I mean, you can probably get around that, but they got roof issues too.
I mean, it's not a homestead property.
I know.
obviously, so,
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Could you maybe explore some of our options for our next meeting?
maybe we can also kind of reach out and see what their plans are.
Yeah.
I think, Lori, is this one of your cases, the A&T Hospitality LLC?
Yes, sir, it is. There's a new manager at the hotel than when it was out there when the case came before the board. She has let the owner know. I've talked to her several times about bringing the property into compliance. Again, he's got to be the one that, you know, is spending the money to have it done. She's, you know, just the manager there. Although she's told him, he hasn't acted on it yet to correct the violation, sir.
He understands that the fines are continuing, right?
Yes, sir. That's what I've reiterated several times to the new manager on shift.
Does the roof present any sort of safety hazard?
No, sir. No, sir. It doesn't. Not a safety hazard. It just it's very, very stained up. Like I said, the parking lot, the lines, you can't even see the lines out in the parking lot. They have not fixed the sidewalk. Certain things, sir, that could have been addressed just have not been done. Pressure washing, fixing a sidewalk could have already been taken care of, and unfortunately has not.
Well, you might want to, by next meeting, maybe you could reach out to them one more time, and if they're still gonna just nod their head and do nothing, then we need to see what other options are available to us.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I just think, just a comment, I think their business is so bad right now that they're, you know, 'cause I go to a coffee shop that's close by and you can just see there's never anybody in the hotel. It's because,
Hotel right next to the coffee shop?
yeah, next to Cozy Coffee, and
Yeah.
I think they were probably Verizon, the fact that Verizon is pretty much empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure that took a lot of their
So this is the one that's
business.
just to the left of the coffee shop?
Correct,
Yeah,
yeah.
They're- But I have a question.
Sure.
Are they open for business, though? They're not closed down?
No, sir.
Yeah, they're
They
open.
are
They're
open for
open,
business.
they're open,
Yes, sir.
and that's why, because if they shut down, do we have a different look at it, or, like if they're shut down?
It keeps.
The violation is still there?
Yeah, yes, and the options of, you know, us taking any type of action are still.
Yes, no action is taken.
Okay, we do have one item under new business. We need to elect officers. It's that time of year again. However, we are down 2 members tonight. My suggestion to you, it's certainly up to the board, is to hold off until next month at least and see if we have a full contingency then, and that way everybody gets a vote.
I move that we postpone the election of officers until next month.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion is second. Any further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Was that a date certain or just postponed?
Just postponed.
Well, it's gonna be next meeting, right? I would
Yeah,
assume.
so February 9th.
Yeah, but if we do a date certain, then we don't have the opportunity to, if something should happen, we can't postpone again, so.
Oh,
So we'll just, that leaves the door open if something should happen. But yeah, that's the idea, is to do it next month.
When you say voting officers, like,
The chair and vice chair. Okay,
we want to keep the chair.
well, thank you. Anybody else have any new business? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Very good, gentlemen, thank you.